Water Ghost Revenge. This morning, James's office welcomed a guest. "Oh, Policeman Gabriel. Hello, buddy. It's rare to see you come all the way here. Please have a seat." James warmly greeted his longtime friend, Policeman Gabriel, who is currently the head of the Ningong district. Although they are still in the same city, they do not often see each other because of their busy work nature. Now seeing Police Gabriel come to the office to find him, James couldn't help but be surprised. "Hello, Mr. James. Is it strange for me to visit you?" Police Officer Gabriel took a glass of water from James's hand. After enthusiastically welcoming his longtime friend and former close colleague, James went straight to the point. Because he didn't think that Police Officer Gabriel had come all the way here to talk to him. "Come on, Mr. Gabriel. If you have something to say, just say it. I'm so curious. I don't believe you came all the way here to see me without a problem." Police Officer Gabriel also knows this friend's personality has always been the same, frankly, not used to talking around. "Okay, Mr. James, you are still the same. Go fast, straight to the point." Officer Gabriel took a sip of water and continued to present his problem. "Recently, I have a difficult case. I want to ask you for help." "You also have a difficult problem to solve? Tell me soon," James asked. Officer Gabriel began telling the story that had been bothering him recently. "In Ningong district where I am managing, there is a river Kali. Recently, around the end of summer, strange things began to happen in this river. Many people drown in the river one after another. It is rumored that it was caused by a raging river water ghost." Hearing this, James was startled. He was also shocked when he heard the water ghost. Quickly asked the policeman Gabriel, "Did the water ghost in the river kill people?" Police Officer Gabriel told James more about what happened in this peaceful land. Kali River flows next to the city. Every time summer comes, adults and children eagerly gather here to play, take fresh air, swim in the river. Actually, some people drowned in this river before, but that was many years ago. Besides, it was just an accident. But this summer, a rough count of 5 to 6 people drowned in this stretch of river, which is a bit strange. It is said that there was a young man who was originally from this area, very good at swimming. While he was swimming, he suddenly felt a great force pulling him into the water. The pull was so fast that he didn't have time to shout or struggle. Fortunately, one of his friends saw the scene, felt something was wrong, and dived into the water to rescue him. The man dived into the water and was shocked at the scene before his eyes. According to his friend, he saw his close friend being dragged to the river's bottom by a small monster with long messy black hair. Seeing that water ghost made him so scared that he didn't know what to do. When he regained his senses, he saw that his friend had been dragged to the bottom of the river. He can't save his friend anymore. Police Gabriel also described the appearance of the water ghost according to the information provided by the witness. It looked short but very strong, with a wrinkled face, terrifyingly fierce, with sharp teeth and claws, messy black hair under the water. Police Officer Gabriel sent people to investigate and round up several times but to no avail. "Now come here because I heard that a young policeman named Michael under James once fought against the sea monster. So he wanted to come here to borrow someone to help with this case. That's how it is. Can Police Officer Lee lend me that Michael to work with the police of Ningong district to handle this case?" After listening to this, James laughed and said, "What do you say to borrow and borrow? I will send Michael to give you a hand." James did not refuse, directly called Michael into the room. James summarized everything, told Gabriel the police's intentions, and ordered Michael to follow Mr. Gabriel to handle this case. "Michael, this is Policeman Gabriel from Ningong district. There is a case that needs your help to solve, obviously." "Sir," Michael strictly complied. The case was urgent, so it could not last long. Police Gabriel quickly brought Michael to Ningong District. James carefully escorted them to the door, not forgetting to instruct Michael to try to complete the task but still pay attention to his own safety. Michael got into Director Gabriel's car and headed to Ningong District. In the car, Director Gabriel explained the implementation of the plan of this case to Michael. "We have also used many methods, throwing nets to catch sea monsters, throwing grenades, but still no results. In the end, we had to resort to the last resort of diving into the water to capture this sea monster. But not only someone who can swim but also needs courage and experience. We have already developed a specific plan, just missing a comrade with combat experience and courage like you." After listening to Director Gabriel summarize the plan, although feeling a bit dangerous, facing the challenge made Michael very excited to try. "Director Gabriel is too commendable. I will try my best to complete the task this time." The car went on the trail to the riverbank, where the policemen of Ningong District were waiting. "Is everything ready?" Director Gabriel asked. "Everything is set up, just wait for the boss's orders." The Ningong District Investigation Team Captain, Asher, arranged everything early, waiting for Director Gabriel to bring Michael. Director Gabriel quickly introduced them to each other. "Asher, this is Michael, the person I told you about, and this is Asher, the captain of our Ningong District Police Investigation Team." The two quickly greeted each other. Asher gives Michael a gun used for fishing, a weapon to deal with water ghosts. Asher's eyes were full of determination. He gritted his teeth and said, "Today, we must definitely destroy this hateful water ghost to eliminate harm to the people." Michael took the fishing gun, took off his clothes, and joined the team members to get on the boat to go down to the river. He also promised himself to do his best to complete the mission with his teammates. No matter how dangerous the water ghost is, how scary it is, there is still no heaviness in Michael's eyes. Because for him, anything that is dangerous and affects the safety of the people is an enemy and needs to be eliminated immediately. The boat went into the water. There were Michael and two other team members. All three were ready to dive into the water to wait for the water ghost to appear. All three of our young policemen dived into the water. They made noises in the river to try to attract the water ghost's attention. The three of them entered the water from midday until the sun gradually turned to the west. However, the water was still calm. There is no movement, the water ghost has not appeared yet. A team member was too tired to stay in the water any longer. He suggested going back to the boat to eat something to recharge. Hearing that, the three decided to swim towards the boat. Michael swam faster, swam to the side of the boat first. As he was about to climb into the boat, he heard a voice behind him. When he looked back, he saw that one of his teammates had just been dragged into the water. Michael knew that the situation was not good, so he turned to dive into the water immediately. When diving into the water, Michael saw that the police comrade had been dragged to a depth of several meters. There was a thin black figure pulling down the leg of the other policeman. Michael immediately realized it was a water demon, so he immediately aimed his gun at it. But the underwater vision is inherently limited. Moreover, the position of the water ghost is towards the dark, and there is a policeman, so it is difficult to aim. Michael has no choice but to dive and swim down quickly to try to close the gap. Michael dived a few more meters, got closer to the water ghost, saw its face better. It was really scary with that fierce and scary face. Michael did not hesitate to shoot a shot towards the water ghost. Unexpectedly, it reacted very quickly, just turned around and avoided that fatal shot. That shot only wiped a small wound on its forehead. The water ghost at this time probably sensed the danger of Michael, so it lets go of the policeman and pounced towards Michael. Michael originally wanted to shoot that monster, but in this place, shooting a gun couldn't hurt it. The water ghost swam in the water very quickly, and in a blink of an eye, it was in front of Michael. Michael in the water is very limited, knowing that if he stays here, there will be less chance of winning, so he swam up to the boat, trying to lure the water ghost to the surface. But Michael could not swim faster than the water ghost. Before he could rise to the surface, he was approached and attacked by it. Michael was in the water for a long time and began to lose strength and could not dodge, being scratched on the stomach by it. The claws of this water ghost are extremely sharp. The wound on Michael's stomach is very large. The blood flowing out dyes the surrounding water red. The ferocious water ghost, when it saw blood, turned to attack Michael. Michael knew he couldn't go to the surface anymore. He quickly took out the dagger that was already pinned at his waist. He rushed towards the water ghost. The ferocious water ghost also stared at Michael and roared, widening its terrifying bulging green eyes. A man and a sea monster have a violent encounter in the water. Suddenly there was a large pool of blood in the water. Michael was injured. He had a painful hole in his chest by the monster. The water ghost smelled the fishy smell of blood and rushed at Michael again. Michael was injured, again and again, stayed in the water for a long time. His breath was about to run out. He couldn't dodge but just let the water ghost rush towards him. The water ghost grabbed Michael's flesh with its sharp claws and bit his fangs into Michael's neck. Michael used all his strength to resist and continued to sink deeper. After that, Michael lost consciousness and was released by the water ghost, sinking into the water. Michael felt that someone was pulling him up in the dark scene and feeling like he was about to die. It must have been his teammates. Fortunately, Michael was rescued on a boat. After CPR, Michael could keep his life. Suddenly, a policeman shouted, "Look, that monster is rotting." Captain Asher also hurriedly stood up to examine the scene, along with the strong stench emanating from that horrible animal. At the rear of the boat is the corpse of a water ghost that was picked up by the team members. It turns out that while he was about to be bitten by the water ghost, Michael used all his remaining strength to stab the knife into its chest. The water ghost was hit by sunlight. Its skin quickly dried up and ulcerated, decomposing in an instant, leaving only a pile of bones. The skeleton of the water ghost was brought to the 703 Research Department for research. Michael successfully completed the task of reporting to James. James himself did not expect that there were such terrible creatures in this world. "Michael, you did a great job this time. Go home and rest well, prepare for the next big case." James did not forget to praise his subordinates and told him to rest and regain his strength. But when Michael heard that there was a new mission and a serious case, he was extremely excited. "What's the case, boss? Can you tell me in advance? You make me curious. Just go back and rest. I'll call you later," James replied sternly. After persuading the stubborn Michael to go home and rest, watching the boys back, James was extremely satisfied to have such a rare, capable and righteous subordinate. But right after that, a tangled feeling and emotion appeared in his eyes. James stared at the case file on the table. The bold red text caught the eye. It was the name of the next major case to be solved, Mysterious Corpse Case.